We're in the redesigned 2024 BMW 5 Series. This is the rear-wheel drive 30i, which has a 4-cylinder turbo. Coming in at nearly $70,000 US is this loaded up base powertrain 530i worth the chunk of change? Today we'll find out. Let's start under the hood. 530i comes standard with an inline 4 turbocharged direct injected 4-cylinder, 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, made it exclusively to an 8-speed auto. You can get it in rear-wheel drive like this is equipped, or you can get in the X-Drive all-wheel drive setup. There's also the inline 6, the B58 engine that's seen in the Z as well. I mean, tons of BMW products, but also the Toyota Supra, and that has about 120 more horsepower than this. Now for 2025, there's also going to be a 550e, takes that inline 6, as well as adds a electric motor, as well as around a 20 kilowatt hour battery to give you about 40 miles of electric range. That's going to be the range topping that is not available, I don't believe, here in America at the time of this recording, but I do believe it is coming to our market. This is also a hybrid. It's a mild hybrid, a 48 volt mild hybrid, and I'll tell you what that's like to drive here in a little bit, but the inline 6 model, the 540i, comes with a mild hybrid as well. Classic BMW logo there on the hood. You're not mistaking this for anything else, especially with the kidney grille. But if you look close at this kidney grille, it is mostly blocked off. All right, they kind of give you the verticality of the older models here with these slats, but when you get close, you see that it is mainly a very aerodynamic front end. Now this has the sport package to it, and you can see these just closed as I walked away. So depending on the cooling the vehicle needs, those will open and close, and if you're at highway speeds, those will also close for better aerodynamics. That was really cool. I was not expecting that trick to go while I was recording. All right, so this is the M Sport package. It does have a blacked out surround right underneath the grille. Let me know if you guys prefer this sort of design over the standard design. I think I actually like the standard design over the M Sport models. Now, I love these headlights. Something cool with these headlights is that when you have automatic high beams on and it needs to go to the high beams, it slowly goes into high beams. It's just not like on and off. It's like a gradient. It slowly brings on the, I don't know why it just honked at me, but it slowly raises the high beams when you are in a dark area, and slowly lowers them. It's pretty cool. So this paint color, it's blue. Most of the time it looks very, very black, and I do apologize that it is dirty. Geez, I don't know why it's honking at me. It's probably because the car's on and I have the key in my pocket. So maybe I'll put the key back in the car and see if that fixes anything. All right, here's the key, by the way. Pretty cool key. Got the BMW Sport logos on it, kind of nice. All right, let's just put that there for now. I think I was talking about how the vehicle's a little dirty. It is summertime here in Florida. You go anywhere, it'll start raining on you, and then your car is gonna be dirty. These are the 21-inch wheels here. They are, I think they're beautiful. They're one of the best looking wheels that you can get on the 5 Series, but they do cost, I wanna say around 1,800 bucks or so. You also see those blue calipers on the inside. These have upgraded brakes with this M Sport package. And we have, I just noticed this, a little aerodynamic piece right under here. It's not noticeable with the previous generation that kind of had the side slot over here. I think I like the previous generation design just a hair more. I do like how the door handles are flush with the body, very sleek, very aerodynamic. And with this sport package, the window bezels are blacked out as well. I do think it definitely looks premium, but I want to see it in more colors too. If you were questioning what vehicle you're looking at, there you go, 5 Series right there. You can also see this big sunroof here. There's a standard sunroof that does open up. This is the pano sunroof that is, I want to say it's around 600 bucks. It does not open, but it looks really nice when we get on the inside. So we come to the back, 530i. We don't have X-Drive back here either. We don't have any like M Sport badges either, even though this has the upgraded suspension and brakes as well as other things in the interior. Fake exhaust tips back here. Let me know what you guys think about that. All right, the real exhaust tips right there. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. I mean, you do have real dual exhaust, but no enclosure here really lets you know that BMW is like, hey, you know, this is an electrified vehicle to a mild extent, but we're definitely headed towards electrification. All right, and just seeing the vehicle from the side, look how sleek and streamlined it is. It reminds me of a baby version of the i7 that I drove not that long ago. Make sure to check out my i7 review. So we're gonna pull this in the shade over here so you guys get a better look at the interior without some harsh shadows. And the door slams in here, especially when you're on the outside, we'll play with that, but the door slams in here are incredibly impressive. And just that door slam right there, it sounds really nice. It doesn't have soft close doors like the i7 did, but the doors shut really nicely. Of course, it's built in Germany. We do have an automated trunk here, and look at this big floor. Lifting this up, we do have a spare tire, something that the Germans do a pretty good job at, is including that spare tire. We also have some additional fake floor, underfloor storage to an extent. I was expecting this trunk to be bigger, and you can hear the latches to fold down the seats, but I want to say it's around 18 cubic feet of space. It's really long. It's just, it seems pretty narrow, and it's pretty shallow as well. An additional storage space here. Looks like we have maybe some materials or tools to work with the spare tire there, but go ahead and close that down. Gotta love that automated trunk lid. This back seat, super comfy. It's actually the first time I've sat back here. Lots of headroom, no mat pockets. That is I don't know if I've seen a luxury car without mat pockets. I think this is an accessory port where you can put like tablet holder, something like that can slot into there. USB-C here, USB-C there, two more there. There's two more up there. Vents back here, of course, a little phone holder. These seats are fantastic, really, really cozy. Feels super premium, very high end. For example, there you go, straight to the trunk. But overall, I could definitely see myself back here for a long time. However, I was expecting more legroom here in the 5 Series. The Bowers & Wilkins grills here look amazing. The soft touch material up here is real nice. It would have been nice to have some sunshades back here for this price point. But I do like these door panels overall. And as long as you're under 6 foot tall, it's probably going to be a very comfortable space back here. All right, into the front seat. Right away, more Bowers & Wilkins sound grille here. This sport package comes with this aluminum material. Memory seats, of course, soft touch materials. This front door looks a lot like the back door. It's nice to have the continuity. Aluminum styled pedals there at the bottom. It would have been nice to have some M-ness to these mats here, but I'm sure you get some M mats optional from BMW. All right, these seats are super soft, just like the back seats. I love the design here. Thigh extension, they are not ventilated. Can you believe that? For around $68,000, we do not have ventilated seats. I think you have to get a luxury package. Again, that door sound, it's a little bit high pitched. It's not like a super deep thud, but it is satisfying. I mentioned that big old sunroof. It is very impressive, but here in Florida, it does get very hot. But that's, you know, it's not unique to this car. Every car with big sunroofs gets hot in the summer. We do have an overboost mode here for some 0 to 60s. This will do 0 to 60. Now, if you're lucky, you might be able to crack 6 seconds, but we'll talk about the performance more when we start driving. Here's the M badged steering wheel, very thick steering wheel, very girthy, very meaty. I would have liked some blue or red right here at the top. But this looks like, it just feels like it's missing a little color right there at the top of the steering wheel. The stitching is pretty darn nice overall, and that's what you're expecting in a high-end luxury vehicle. We have a 12.3-inch screen here, which is customizable. I can press the cog button. I can play with some different layouts. I can also play with the head-up display. Head-up display you can also customize, but you can also mate the head-up display with the driving modes. So I don't know if those, I think the head-up display is coming up for you guys. And that's how impressive this head-up display is. A+ BMW with your head-up display. It is absolutely fantastic. Crystal clear, cool graphics. We have this huge widescreen right here, and I have, of course, the optional 360 camera on here with all the parking sensors. If I put it in reverse, you can see the backup camera is pretty high resolution as well. This screen is very, very impressive. The BMW software, it is fairly snappy. It's just kind of a pain to get anywhere, I feel like. I feel like this would be a good shortcut to climate control, but it only pops up your heated seat and heated steering wheel. So you have to press the fan button to actually get to the climate control. It would have been nice to have an overriding button here for fan control here in the BMW i5. And this is some of the frustrations I had with the i7 and the X1 that I've driven recently. But the automatic climate control in here is really, really good. But I'm mostly in Android Auto, and it takes up, like, I can take up the whole width of the screen here. That is pretty impressive. It reminds me a little bit of the Genesis products that also have a really, really large widescreen. And if I need to charge wired, I have this. Wireless is right here, only on this side, even though it looks like this side would be a wireless charger, it is not. Cup holders there, of course. You have the rotary dial if you want to interact with the screen, which it's probably good for the base screen, but again, I'm mostly in Android Auto in here, which works great as a touchscreen. It's really easy to get to. And yeah, glossy black here. The vents are kind of hidden. It's very premium looking, or at least premium design. Just don't know how I feel about all this glossy black here that accentuates the cabin, even around the controls to put it into drive. Volume knob, or I should say volume scroll dial here, it works pretty well. Sport modes, which is important when you have the M Sport package, right? And enabling sport mode takes off traction control and it makes the steering stiffer in here. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal as it was in the X1 for me, because the stop-start engine functionality in here is really smooth, very natural, and I had to disable that in the X1 because it was really, really annoying with that four-cylinder chirping on and off and shaking the car all the time. This has the same four-cylinder, and its persona in here with this mild hybrid system is far more luxurious than it was on that X1. All right, let's get back into Android Auto. Otherwise, you're just looking at like their you know, their base screens that they give you. Underneath here, there is a felt lined armrest area with a 12 volt with a little light, but it's really, really small storage space. I think the camera looks good there. So with that being said, let's go ahead and put it into reverse and enjoy the nice 360 cameras here. Put it into drive, and the steering here is super light and very, dare I say, non-traditional BMW. There's like very, very little resistance to it. It feels synthetic. It almost feels like an electric car with the steering. And I know it's electric power assist, or at least I believe it is. Just about every car has electric power assist nowadays. It just feels pretty disconnected from the wheels. I want a really heavy steering response. And yes, I could go ahead and put it into sport mode and play with the buttons here, but the personal mode, which isn't very personal, it's just kind of the standard mode. And I don't know if you can personalize the personal mode. Anyways, it's good enough for me. And for just a luxury car, the 5 Series does well, all right? It's just strange that for nearly $70,000 with the M Sport package, yes, the brakes are amazing. I'm gonna hit the brakes real quick. I do love the brakes in here. That's probably the sportiest thing about this car. But for nearly $70,000, as I get into the gas here, it doesn't have the top end power that I would expect in a high-end luxury sedan. So I'm just gonna say this, I don't recommend this turbo 4-cylinder unless you just get like a base 5 Series and you get a good lease payment on it or something. The way to go with the 5 Series absolutely is the inline 6. Now, I haven't driven it here in the 5 Series. I've driven it in countless other BMW and even Supra products, and that engine is unbelievable. It's even more smooth than this, which surprisingly, guys, this 4-cylinder is one of the smoothest I've tested. Maybe it's BMW does some wizardry with the 48-volt mild hybrid. It doesn't shake the car, it's super smooth. Anyways, I'd still be getting the inline 6. It doesn't cost that much more money. You get 120 more horsepower and gobs of torque with that powertrain. You go from like a 6-second 0 to 60 to a 4.5-second 0 to 60. It's just in another tier of performance, smoothness, and high-end luxury compared to this 4-cylinder turbo. It's harder to find though. There's just a lot more 4-cylinder options, at least in my area, compared to the, let's say, the 540i with the B58 inline 6 engine, which is just one of the best engines BMW has ever made. This engine's not bad, and I've used it in the X1. I've had it in the 4-cylinder Supra. It's a good powertrain for smaller cars. I just feel like it's not enough to hustle this vehicle. You get a good torque push, and it does accelerate well. It just, to me, it's just not doing it in this style of vehicle in a 5 Series, especially with the M Sport package. I feel like I need just a little, actually a lot more top-end juice here. And I think a lot of people would agree with me there. The good news is I optioned this vehicle out with the inline 6, and only came out $2,000 more expensive, and it came with all-wheel drive, and I pretty much have all the features that I have here, except maybe for the M Sport package, which in my opinion doesn't do anything here. All right, now that I've put to bed the sportiness with this inline 4, let's talk about the luxury, the ride quality, the quietness, the NVH, that sort of thing. Well, these seats are a home run, not for sportiness, but for luxury. Super big, super soft, materials are great, very comfortable. Like I said, I wish it was ventilated seats here for the price point. The steering wheel quality is fantastic. One thing I do wish, and it's almost indicative of the 5 Series moving away from being something very sporty, is that the bracing area is so far outside of the seat, and that's a good thing. It feels roomy in here, but for me, if I'm throwing the 5 Series through a turn, I'm bracing my knees somewhere. There's nowhere to brace my knee on the left side on the door, and if I do, there's actually a soft like speaker grill down there, so that'd be kind of comfy. But over here, it's not super cheap, but it's also not like, I don't have leather wrapped, and I don't have any stitching over here in the center tunnel, and I kind of wish I had that to brace my knee or to rest my knee on, especially if I'm taking this through the turns, which in Florida I don't really have any unless I hit a green light at speed. As long as you don't care to get lost in the menus too much, the technology is really good in here. I keep it simple. Leave it in the standard driving mode, have Android Auto up, and the head-up display is just so good in here. I do look at the 12-inch screen mainly for fuel economy, and I'm getting about 28 to 30 miles per gallon. I haven't seen worse than 28 miles per gallon with this vehicle this week. The ambient lighting, take it or leave it. Some people think like the ambient lighting's end all be all to luxury. To me, it doesn't matter really at all. In fact, I want my ambient lighting to be very subtle. It's more subtle in here absolutely than it was in the i5 and maybe even the X1. It really takes a background role. And so I haven't been paying much attention to it, but it does change with the sport modes, and I'm gonna take this yellow here. Yeah, handling's pretty good, just not a lot of feedback through the steering wheel, and I didn't have the inline 6 power and torque to throw me out of the turn like I want in a vehicle of this price point and of this prestige. Does a previous generation 5 Series look better? In my opinion, probably, but that, again, it's just subjective. I like the interior in here. It's very luxurious. It is a quiet ride overall, even though I don't have acoustic glass. That would have been a nice addition. You know, cars going by you can be a little bit too noisy, but overall, road noise is very, very minimal. Ambient noise, I can't even hear the CRV next to me. So like ambient noise is pretty minimal overall until you hear an aftermarket exhaust or a big dump truck next to you, and then that's when you really want that acoustic glass. But for the most part, I think it's quiet enough for the price point. It rides well enough, it handles well enough, brakes well enough. Just don't have that powertrain that I want in a vehicle of this class. And you can just easily get it, and it doesn't cost much more money, and it comes standard all-wheel drive. So you get a lot of benefits going with the inline 6 to make this vehicle feel more true to its roots. But we're just gonna give it to the beans one last time here. Yeah, I'm wanting so much more. That extra 120 horsepower would go a long ways, and luckily BMW offers it, and that's the way to get the 5 Series. Inline 6, all day long, unless you get a killer lease deal on the 4-cylinder, or if you just don't care about performance, but it's a BMW. Most BMW buyers want a little bit of performance, and I'm just not getting it here with this base powertrain. It's smooth, it's quiet, it's torquey. As long as you're not hustling it, I think most people will be happy. So I'm gonna end it there. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. BMW, thank you for sending me the new 5 Series. I hope, fingers crossed, I get to test out the inline 6, the 540i, the next time I drive a 5 Series, because I'm pretty sure it's going to answer all my prayers and meet all my expectations for what a BMW 5 Series should be, or at least pretty darn close. All right, I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. Subscribe for more BMW videos, more BMW reviews. The new X3 just was announced, so I'm excited to see what that's all about. Hopefully that hits the fleet here in the next year or so, and I can bring that coverage to you. Let me know what other BMW reviews you would like, and I'll go ahead and request that from my press fleet. I think a lot of you guys would probably like to see 3 Series, 4 Series, maybe X5, X7 stuff. It'll be fun to test out the larger SUVs with the family as well. But all right, I gotta shut down. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.